We started as a pure advocacy organization, that we were here to put our face on recovery, offer ourselves as living proof that recovery is real. Shortly thereafter, we evolved into recovery support services, and now we have 3 recovery community centers. We provide telephone recovery support to 500 people weekly. We do recovery coaching services. We train recovery coaches. We've trained more than 20,000 coaches across the country and worldwide.
10% of people that meet the criteria for a substance or alcohol use disorder actually go to treatment. So that's a lot of people that are out there that need help and that need support that aren't getting it through the traditional treatment system. Our staff and our volunteers are trained to know how to find resources for people. And that includes treatment, detox, outpatient, support groups, things like that.
We have 28 staff positions. Recently, over the last year or so, we've hired 10 recovery coaches who work in the emergency department.
We started this program about a year ago. Our coaches are dispatched to the hospital when somebody comes in that the staff identifies as, being appropriate to talk to our coaches.
I met one of the recovery coaches in the emergency department in Manchester Hospital in March of 2017. After pretty much a lifelong addiction to alcohol.
The hospital staff asks that person if they'd like to speak to a coach. If that person says yes, then they call one of our coaches in.
I talked to one of the counselors at the hospital, and she asked if I would speak to someone that was called a recovery coach. I had no idea what it was, but that person was from a company called CCAR.
We treat the person we're seeing as the best resource on their own recovery. We ask them, how can we help you with your recovery today? And they respond. They might want to go to detox, they might want to go to outpatient. Our coaches are all trained to support individual pathways of recovery.
My first thing was to say, I want to go to a recovery program, but I'm not going to meetings. I refuse to go to meetings. So if you can find something like that for me, then I'd be more than happy to go, and I look forward to going. Recovery coaches have a tremendous knowledge of facilities and options and ways to, paths to recovery, that if you're just trying to do it on your own, I don't really think you could do it. I had no doubts in my mind that it had not been for CCAR, I know I wouldn't be sitting here today with 10 plus months of sobriety, that's for sure.
As of this time, January of 2018, we've seen more than 700 people since our program started in March of 2017. And out of those 700, we've connected 97% to ongoing care, which is remarkable to us. What the Connecticut Community for Addiction Recovery does is maintain and sustain that recovery once it has been initiated. The other thing we actively do that's received a lot of attention is we call people once a week and check in on their recovery. So telephone recovery support.
We've been providing this service since 2005. Trained volunteers that are many times in recovery themselves reach out to people that need help and that would like a phone call. And they call once a week and just check to see how people are doing in their recovery.
And we currently are calling about 550 individuals each and every week just to ask them, how's your recovery going today?
People call participants up on the phone to see exactly how they're doing with their recovery. Is it going good? Is it going bad? What do you think? What else you can do to maybe help? And reassure them that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, And then at the end, what you would do is say, well, we'll call you back next week to see how you're doing. Let them know that someone is concerned about them and really thinking about them at that time.
First and foremost, we care. And people don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's really the essence of what we are. We're just a an organization that's by and for people in recovery.
I get to meet people, I get to talk with them, I get to share my story, I get to listen to them, I get to help them, I get to ask them questions and use them as resources. And you never know, they may give me a resource that I can put into my resource finder and use to help someone else.
Also, we have different types of supports that happen in our centers. So we have something called the All Recovery Meeting. Many times with traditional 12-step meetings or other types of support meetings, you have to identify yourself as an addict or an alcoholic or things like that. We welcome anybody that has a desire to be in recovery.
We define the recovery community as people in recovery, family members, friends, and allies. So that's just about everyone. Anyone that's interested in promoting recovery or helping people maintain and sustain recovery are welcome.
The most important thing the CCAR does is to provide people with hope and the knowledge that recovery is possible. And we do that by being living testimonies of the power, hope, and healing of recovery, putting that face on recovery, and providing that recovery support services are key to what we do and what we do well.
People come in here and volunteer, they access recovery resources, they look for work, they look for jobs, they attend a variety of training and workshops.
If they want to come in, they want to go to detox, we will find them a bed that's available. We have a long, long list, and what we do, we just keep going and keep going and keep going until they find somewhere for them to go.
The recovery community does have some challenges as we move forward. I think a lot of attention has been brought to recovery and treatment because of the opioid crisis.
We would love to expand our programs. We would love to expand our services, have more community centers in different towns, and expand our coach program to more hospitals.
There's a lot of talk, but not a lot of action. And so how do we take our voice and really turn that into resources where viable solutions can be funded well? And I think that's a lot of advocacy, not only by organizations like CCAR, and we are strong advocates, but by the entire community. And it doesn't just have to be people in recovery. It has to be the family members, it has to be friends, it has to be allies. Everyone is touched by addiction. We need that voice to elevate. We need that voice to rise, not just get pushed aside like it has in the past. So that's a challenge, but it's also a tremendous opportunity.